Coming up on today's show, we are spending the entire hour highlighting those who are going above and beyond in our community, and we're sharing ways that you can support their cause. New Day Cleveland starts right now. Welcome to New Day Cleveland. I am Natalie Herbeck. It is so good to have you with us today. This is our Above and Beyond show. So we are going to dedicate this entire hour to those who are doing great things in our community. Our first story has a mission to bring joy to those who are lonely through a simple bouquet. This is Big Hearted Blooms.
Big Hearted Blooms is an organization that's on a mission to combat loneliness and isolation among people living in care facilities or being treated in care facilities by delivering a moment of joy, helping people remember that they're loved and not forgotten, and giving them the energy to continue to fight their battles. We're collecting flowers that were headed for the trash after events, weddings, corporate events, and after they've served their first purpose in a wholesaler or grocery store. And we are repurposing them and taking them out to individuals in senior care facilities and hospitals and hospice and outpatient. We have delivered just over 14,000 bouquets around the Cleveland area. We did a little over 5,000 last year, and we're hoping to do 7,500 or 8,000 this year to about 100 different care facilities that we've touched and that we try to touch on some kind of a regular basis. And the opportunity in Cleveland and the need in Cleveland is huge. So we're just getting started. I'm a cancer survivor, so I spent a little over a year in treatment, and I had a great support system, but I met a lot of people who didn't. And I really recognized how small acts of kindness can be extremely powerful in terms of delivering some energy to individuals and giving them, a better outlook and helping them from a mental perspective in fighting their battles. I also had a mother who had Alzheimer's, and so I spent a lot of time in care facilities, and I read about an organization in Knoxville, Tennessee that was doing this, and something just clicked, and I jumped off the cliff, and here we are 3 years later. We're an all-volunteer organization, so we have volunteers all over the city that are picking up flowers from various grocery stores and bringing them into our warehouse. And we have volunteers who are here today who are tearing those arrangements apart, picking out the stuff that's not usable, making new arrangements, and then they will go out later today and tomorrow to care facilities around Cleveland. There's several ways to get involved. Obviously, you can go to our website, bigheartedblooms.org, to find out more. You can become a volunteer. You can donate your flowers if you're having a wedding or an event. We collect vases. We use all recycled vases, so you can do a vase drive, collect vases from your friends and family and donate those. Obviously, we need financial support as well, but there's lots and lots of ways to get involved, and I always suggest just come down and experience it in the workshop and go from there. Every time I am able to make a delivery and I see a smile on someone's face and they're surprised and they're so delighted to be remembered, it just fills my tank and it keeps me going. So for me personally, I just operate off of the energy that the actual service is providing. And I think our volunteers get a lot out of it too. It's hard not to like working with flowers and immersing yourself in a creative experience like this, but we have folks who just pick up from the grocery store once a week, and it's a small part, but it's an essential part of what we do, and they know that ultimately they're bringing joy to someone, they're paying it forward, and I think it brings them a lot of joy.
To become a volunteer or to make a donation, you can visit Big Hearted Blooms online. Well, I had the chance to do two of my favorite things: support a good cause and enjoy a good meal. Take a look.
Welcome
Hi.
to Twisted. How many people in your party?
One, please.
Please take a seat right over here.
Oh, you know what? I have a question. Before I sit down for breakfast, can you introduce me to Chris?
Sure.
Is he back there? Is that him?
Yup.
I think I found him. All right, let's go. I'm going to go around here. Thank you, Noah.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Hi, Chris.
Good morning.
So good to see you.
Great to see you as well. Nice to have you. Thanks for coming by.
So I have heard so many wonderful things about this program that you're doing here.
Thank you.
Can you expand on this for us? Because this is amazing.
So the students that are here with us today are from Tracy's program at the Medina County Career Center, the Career and Community Experience program. They are students who are transitioning from high school into workforce, and what better opportunity than bringing a vessel of many different careers.
Right this way, please.
From greeting and seating guests to serving to cooking in the kitchen to rolling sushi. There's so much available and so many opportunities opportunities for these students to try a lot of different things. This is Zach, Ian, and Dragan.
Hi, Dragan. Hi, Ian. Hi, Zach. Hi, guys.
And these guys have been fantastic at rolling sushi.
Is it difficult to do, guys? It seems really hard to me.
Zach, is rolling
hard?
sushi hard? Yeah?
It seems hard. Do you do a sushi shuffle?
You do that.
I heard about the sushi shuffle. Can you do one more? Can you teach me it? Show me, what do I do?
Come on,
All right, you
come
just
on.
do it then.
Show
you don't
Natalie
have to
the
teach me.
sushi
Show it to me again.
All right, how many coffees do we have, ladies?
Fiona and Felicity are serving. They do a fantastic job. It started off where everybody just kind of rotated, tried different things, and little by little, they all kind of fell into their niche. So
Makes
obviously,
sense.
Noah's got a gift to gab, so he is,
Noah is
he's
spectacular.
booming on the door. The
And
girls,
there was someone making crab cakes back in the
that's,
kitchen.
Yep, that's Brian back there in the kitchen. So Brian is doing a great job. He found his niche. He loves to cook. He says he loves to cook. So he's been back there with us, and he does crab cakes, egg rolls, and a lot of the stuff that we make in-house for our everyday menu. He's back there helping. It makes me feel great, but more importantly, it makes the kids feel great. So they see the faculty, they see the families coming in all the time, but the neat thing about it is, when the doors are open, we've got just regular everyday customers walking in, and they don't even know, and I guess that's the best thing is, if you don't tell them that these students are serving, they don't know. They get, it's great service, it's great food, everything hits the table the way it's supposed to hit, and if you didn't tell them what this was all about, they would have no idea.
The lifelong skills then that you're helping to create for these kids that can go off, do wonderful careers once they're done with school.
Absolutely.
And be a part of society just like anybody else.
Yes.
Tracy, I think it's time. I'm ready to eat breakfast.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Girls, can you do me a favor? Can you run in the back and grab breakfast for us, please?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
That food looks delicious. I'm gonna bring you over. We can sit down. Did you eat yet? Because I think I need you to eat with me.
I was waiting for you to eat.
I honestly am so thrilled to be here. I can't imagine what this must be like for you guys to have these kids be a part of this.
This is life-changing for our students. For them to have an opportunity to come into a workplace, to work side by side with other employees, doing things that other people would be getting paid to do, is a huge life changer for our students.
And I know Chris, having put this all together, has been a lifesaver for you.
He's amazing. His willingness to open up his business, his willingness to open up his heart and soul to our students so they have opportunities that otherwise wouldn't be available to them if not for opportunities like this. It takes all of us, but at the end of the day, it's this and that are given the opportunity, and once they know what they need to do, we back off and they just shine.
I know where I am going to come for breakfast from here on out on Mondays because the service has been impeccable.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think it's time to begin. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming.
I don't want to leave. Breakfast? Can we do lunch and dinner too?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. We have sushi rollers, so you'll be all set.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Tracy.
coming.
Coming up after the break, we're talking with a local designer who's creating clothes for cancer patients. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland and our Above and Beyond road trip. Caring for the youth in our community by fixing something that's broken. They're giving kids the wheels to succeed at Wrench and Ride.
Welcome to Wrench and Ride. For those of you here, we're going to have 4 stations for you. The first
Wrench and Ride, I was just trying to figure out a way for us to help kids to do something with their hands. And so I came up with this idea. I was driving around and I saw a bunch of bikes sitting out in people's yards that they were out for the trash. And for me, that seemed like a waste. And so if I could gather 4 bikes up and maybe put them all together to make one, then I'd be able to do that. But I didn't want to just do that on my own. I wanted to show a kid how to do it. And the name Wrench and Ride just kind of came about. You know, we're going to teach them how to fix it, and then they'll get to ride away on it when they're all finished.
Now remember, what way are we turning? You just make them a little lower?
I think the bicycle for me was just an introductory way to get kids to do tools. I mean, hopefully someday they'll be able to fix their own car, change their own tire, and those kind of things. There's just a lot of good practical lessons that come from a bike on how it starts, how it stops, You know how you pedal and all that process?
So what way are you turning?
We'll turn it this way.
Yep.
Now, I just want something the kids are proud of, something they can tell their friends, hey, I built this with my own 2 hands. And I don't care if they go home and paint it a different color or add whatever they want, because it is theirs, but we just wanted to give them something that they could put their hard work into and see the reward at the end of that.
First thing with brakes, we have very distinct components that go along with it. We have a brake lever up here, and this is where you apply your pressure. I'm a bike mechanic, I get to show the kids, some of the ins and outs and how to fix things, how to diagnose things, teach them, how maybe to fix things on the fly, and just basic bike maintenance. Take a little wrench, bend that back a little bit. The Wrench and Ride program is not just about giving away a bike. The bike is merely a vehicle, excuse the pun, is merely a metaphor for us to show that you can love people, you can love each other without actually expecting anything in return. They don't need to give back to us anything except for just a little bit of time. They're going to pick out a bike. We're going to help them fix that bike, and then when that's done, they get to keep it. We're not asking for anything in return. It's just a display of love that they might not otherwise get somewhere else.
One of my favorite things about teaching these kids how to work a bike is that every part is unique. Every part of the bicycle has its specific purpose. And what that translates to us is that they each have a purpose. Doesn't matter how tall they are, how short they are, God's got a gift for them. And it's the same thing with the bicycle. Each one has a specific part, and when you put them all together, they roll down the road, and they're a lot of fun. And that's what we do. Everything that we do here has a purpose to be able to tell kids. So that's part of the other process of working on the bikes.
On the tire.
Don't be afraid to get it wrong.
There you go.
So Wrench and Ride is a program through That Place for Teens that is in Brunswick, and you can learn more about them online. Well, from confidence in craftsmanship to confidence through fashion, one local designer is making special blouses for breast cancer patients. Here's a look.
I was diagnosed in 2013. No one in my family had a history of cancer, not breast cancer, but not really any type of cancer. I was in the shower and I felt a lump. It was a shock. It was truly, truly a shock. When I was diagnosed, I just didn't say why me. I just said what is the intent? What is the purpose? Why was I chosen on this journey? And how can I impact somebody else? A lot of people don't know the setting or how chemotherapy is until you're in that. So the environment in an infusion center, there are several people having treatment. You're in your own little space, however you can't undress. So people may or may not be familiar with a medical port, but it is an apparatus that's placed into your chest area through a minor surgery to help give easy access for the IV. I found myself going to treatment and actually holding my t-shirt down or holding my blouse down. Your clothes end up stained and getting messed up, but even in pictures I have, I'm holding down or trying to find an appropriate style top. So when the thought of this blouse, it was how can something look good and make you feel good but have easy access for the port. My husband does accounting for small businesses, and when I was sharing this idea with him, he says, I had a perfect person for you, and she's right here in Cleveland. So I tend to be, an innovator and, just that person that never gives up. And what's ironic is that is the tagline for Diane's logo. Her business is NGU, never give up. So then we knew the collaboration was meant to happen.
When Denise shared her story with me, it was just no hesitation. I wanted to, play my part and just do whatever that I could to make a difference. They're actually blouses that you can wear every day, but what makes them a little unique is the Velcro. They're just easy to open up. Some of the blouses will look like they zip up, they button up, but it's the Velcro. I have a team of about 7 cutters, 7 sewers. We lay the fabric. right here on the table. We can cut about 20 blouses at a time, and we have a team that will serge them, sew them in terms of putting them together. We are manufacturing these blouses to go into hospitals. We're working with boutiques if they want to sell the blouses. So patients would just have access all over, even on our website, if you want to purchase a blouse from there.
I feel that as women, we are so used to, just presenting ourselves a certain way, looking a certain way. We want to camouflage whatever imperfections we think we might not have. However, we do know that when you look good, you feel good. So going through something as traumatic as a diagnosis of cancer, I know that when a woman puts this top on, it's gonna make a difference. So it's an awesome feeling, it is.
You can learn more about the blouses made by Styles of Imagination by visiting them online. Okay, after the break, we have an inspirational story honoring the loss of a loved one. Let's go back to the year 2003, when Archbishop Hoban graduate Michael Allio set off after graduation to begin the next chapter of his life.
When I was 18, just decided for college I wanted to kind of go to a big city and do that whole thing, so settled on Loyola University in Chicago.
Little did he know his freshman year would bring him the love of his life, Laura.
I was like, who is that? Like, yes, like that's the face I could wake up to, like, forever. And so went up to her and just kind of poured it on thick.
The couple dated for 10 years before getting married, and the two brought their precious son James into the world September of 2016, a spitting image of his mama.
After all these years, like, our careers were finally like stable. Life felt like it was together. Like, we had our house, like we hit all of our major, benchmarks. It was like,
it felt perfect.
It felt perfect.
7 short months later, Laura found a lump on her breast.
I think anybody who's ever received that call knows exactly what it feels like being on the other end of the phone. And I remember I was in my office, she was outside of her work. She's like, I have cancer, and I immediately jumped in my car, drove over to her. She's sitting on the stairs, I'm bawling my eyes out, and she had this really like calm confidence about her. Somehow she was, comforting, yeah, like it was crazy.
Laura passed less than 2 years after her diagnosis. The loss crippling, the grief at times unbearable.
There's a part where, and I learned this from Laura, where you either allow it to take over your life or you try to put some purpose behind it. And although we'll never understand why things happen, we can create value. We can offer something to others that are going through it.
So Michael started the L4 project, Live Life Like Laura.
So what L4 really is online store where you go on, you can buy t-shirts, and 100% of the profits actually go to 501c3 organizations that do support cancer and easing that burden for people that are going through a really difficult time in their life. I never want to lose, perspective. I never want to forget what it's like to be in, that patient chair, that caregiver's chair, watching someone you love, fight for their life.
His intention was to continue Laura's philanthropic ways, keep her legacy alive, and give James something to always hold on to. What he didn't know is that it would lead him into uncharted territory on The Bachelorette.
I think it's important to know I never sought this out. I wasn't nominated. I did not apply for it whatsoever.
How? How were you found?
It's crazy how this whole thing works. So one of the head casting directors, her husband actually was creating an app for nonprofits. And on Instagram, they came across the L4 project. And then she started digging into my Instagram, and through that connection, sent me a DM basically saying, would you like to be on a show?
Okay, that just gave me chills, because to me, what that says is Laura had something to do with all this.
I completely agree.
He may not have ended up as The Bachelorette's final suitor, but his time spent was meaningful beyond measure.
When I got back from the show, my messages were really flooded with, gratitude from, widows, again, single parents, people currently battling cancer, that, something resonated with them, whether or not it was, just hope that better things can come of this, courage to go outside of their comfort zone and begin dating again if they lost somebody.
He smiles today, knowing what the future might bring, and he encourages all of us to be a light for others.
Whether or not L4 turns into something, global, or whether it stays local, doesn't matter to me. The fact, I'm just proud that, I'm trying. And I think if everybody tried to make a difference, we would see crazy outcomes very quickly.
All right, coming up after the break, special quilts to calm those with anxiety. Welcome back to New Day Cleveland and our Above and Beyond road trip, bringing comfort and relief to those with anxiety by sewing fidget quilts. That's the mission of one group of women. Here's a look.
I sew this and then put it inside this
Okay,
bag.
you double it. Okay.
And double it, okay? Is that all right? The Fidget Circle Ministry is a ministry where we make fidget quilts for adults with dementia or children with autism spectrum disorders, babies with sensory perception disorders. And we provide those quilts free of charge to individuals, to organizations, to facilities, to bring comfort and joy. Started back in 2018. We have a ladies ministry, and our ladies ministry meets once a month. Several times during the year we do an outreach. And in 2018, one of our outreach was to do fidget quilts for the residents of a memory care unit in a local nursing facility. The response was great, and we were excited. Normally, we would not have gone any further with that because we're small, and we try to do outreach projects for the community. But some of us were just intrigued with the fidget quilt. It was like, it's so simple. And was it really beneficial? And was there really a need for it? And so we just didn't let it go and started looking into it and found that, yes, they really are beneficial. And there was nobody else doing them for free.
A fidget quilt is a small, about as big as a pillowcase, piece of fabric that we attach buttons, stuffed animals, zippers, ribbon onto so the people can fidget with them. First, we look at age. So if it's for a child, we do childlike things on it. We need things that they can fidget with and things that are comforting. So we try to put about 8 items on the fidget quilt. So, something soft or something satiny, like the satin here on the side would be comforting, and this would be something that they could play with or fidget with.
The ministry is open to anyone. It's not just our church.
They can just come and join us and we'll take them under our wing.
I have a mother with dementia, and when she gets anxious, she fidgets. I mean, that's the only word you can use to describe it. She moves things around, she picks up things and puts them down. The quilt helps to focus her. We do a lot of customized quilts, so we try to design them depending on the person's personality, their hobbies, their past profession. It creates a communication tool. I can use a fidget quilt with a doily, a crochet doily on it, and my mother will begin to talk about her sister who used to crochet all the time. And so we have a conversation that's meaningful, the conversations that you miss when people really get into dementia because you don't have that connection. So the quilts help to bring that to it.
To donate your time or to just learn more about their ministry, you can visit them online. Fresh donuts served with a smile. Love the sound of that. At Maggie's and More, the service is sweeter than the treats.
Maggie's and More is a small business with a mission. The business end of it sells Maggie's donuts out of Middlefield, paninis, smoothies, breakfast sandwich, espresso drinks, but what's dear to the business is the More part. So More stands for meaningful opportunities reaching everyone. And the goal of the mission and the business is to employ differently abled adults who couldn't normally find a job out in their community in a meaningful place of employment. At Maggie's and More, the business is run by the differently abled individuals. They run anywhere from in their 20s to their 40s with varying degrees of disability, and the setup of the store has been designed so that they can serve and ring out the customers and make the breakfast sandwiches, and each of them is supported by a job coach. I'm a teacher, a special ed teacher at Kenston School District, and I was finding as my students were beginning to age out of the school system, many of them were struggling to find a job that they like to do. This kind of fell in my lap of the opportunity to purchase the business, and I dragged my family along with me, and here we are. But I now we're up to 8 of my former students from Kenston are now employed here at Maggie's and More. In the beginning I was worried, will I have enough individuals to work? Now I have so many individuals to work. But every shift we put them on is one for a skill-based, that they may be the comfort level of running the register, and then the second shift they work in a week is a social one, where they'll be on the shift with individuals that are of similar age or interest, or they've made a connection to each other. We've been able to fit everybody in as much as we can. Hiram, being a small community, has embraced the vision that we have. We have regulars that will come in on specific days to be served by specific employees, which is kind of cool. We have the old fire chief from Hiram comes in every Sunday, so Kelly can serve his donuts for him. And it's become what our vision is. It would become a community hub to make those connections with the community, for the community to see how capable the individuals are, and for the individuals then to feel part of the community.
All right, girls, have a good day.
We'll have caregivers or parents tell me that they were up at 8 ready to go and their shift starts at 10. And that just tells me how much they love coming to work, or they lay their clothes out at night ready to go. And that is probably the most prideful thing, to know that they feel so positive about what they're doing on a daily basis. The most rewarding thing is to see them here, to know that they have a meaningful place to be employed. And a lot of the things that we did in middle school, we ran a concession stand, we had a school tool shop inside of our classroom, all to build the skills that I get to see them use here, which is pretty cool.
Maggie's and More is located on Wakefield Road in Hiram. Still to come, local police celebrating good deeds.
Hi there. Your last name?
ROCKS is an acronym. It stands for Reach Out Cops and Kids, and it's a new initiative we started here at the Ashland Police Division. So under the umbrella of ROCK, We have all types of programming, and it's going to be for all ages in our community. It's critical that the public can see that the officers are engaging with kids and with the community itself. So we're trying to foster and promote community involvement, those relationships that we're building. When I see our officers interacting with children in our community, it's a highlight for me, because I know what officers do. I know that, but this program is allowing that to kind of shine. And the benefit of that is those relationships with children allow children to be more relaxed and comfortable with us, because many of them are going to need us. One part of our program is called a You've Been Caught ticket. So our patrol officers have their cruisers stocked with these tickets, where if an officer sees a child that's doing something that's right, maybe wearing a bike helmet, or they are assisting someone crossing the road or using a crosswalk, our officer might stop them and issue this You've Been Caught ticket. And along with that ticket, they get something that we've partnered with different businesses for, like an ice cream coupon from Wendy's, or Pizza Hut has given out pizzas. So if a child sees an officer pull them over, it's going to be a positive interaction.
All right, you guys keep up the good work, okay? All righty.
When we initially approached our chief with this idea of initiating this ROC program, he asked how much participation that we thought we would get from the officers, and we were delighted to report back to him within 2 days. We put out an email and 90% of our department responded.
I've personally seen kids that were at our fishing derby on a call later on, and they actually recognized me, and the kid was not real excited to see us until he recognized who I was, and it totally changed his demeanor. So to me, that's the most important thing, is that interaction with the kids.
One of our programs is we have a ROC award, and this award is given out by nomination. So someone can be nominated for going above and beyond, a child that goes above and beyond. So they're nominated, we review that, and then we select a winner. And they get a backpack, they get a UROC yard sign, and inside the backpack is all kinds of swag from the community.
This ticket's for you for being good.
What we're finding is, for these children who go above and beyond, is that it's contagious. It makes other children want to do the right thing as well.
So far, we've seen several kids that go above and beyond. We've handed out several ROC awards. It's very refreshing to see that kids are out there doing these types of things, and we're happy to reward them for it and recognize their successes.
The public is so engaged now that there are things happening literally on a weekly basis. So we are super excited about that, excited about the partnerships with the community that we've built, and they're engaging in so many different ways. I don't think this program could work if we didn't have the involvement from our community leaders, our mayor, our police chief, lots of different individuals, and the community itself.
For more information on the great programs going on at the Ashland Police Division, you can follow them on their social media account. Our next story is making a difference through needlework by creating special prosthetics for breast cancer survivors. This is Knitted Knockers.
We'll be stuffing these knockers here with a different polyfill, and we have different sizes that we'll be working with.
It all started in 2011. I had a lumpectomy. In 2020, my breast cancer returned, and I had to have a mastectomy. And like a lot of breast cancer survivors, you now have options of what you're going to do. I went and got a prosthesis, and the prosthesis is quite heavy. It's silicone rubber, and it's very uncomfortable. I told all my friends, I'm not wearing this unless the Queen of England invites me to tea. So I went to North Carolina to visit my daughter-in-law. We went shopping, looking for some clothes, and my daughter-in-law saw my problem, and she had a friend whose mother knitted knockers. So I took her to our board meeting here one night, and I presented to the board and said, these are, a prosthesis that's lightweight, it's filled with polyfill, it's so much more wonderful. I said, would you help me do this knitted knocker project?
Lori is a rock star because she is,
a double breast cancer survivor here, and then to have her mastectomies, and to be coming here and just sort of asking this very humble ask. She is a lot like family. Our library is here like that. It's our community is like that. A couple days later, I received an email about, maybe writing a grant. And the first thing I did was go to my boss and I said, I think we can do more. I think we need to do more. The Knitted Knocker project at Avon Lake Public Library is based on an actual international project called Knitted Knockers. These volunteers come and they help knit or crochet breast prosthetics. This breast prosthetic that's created is a special yarn that's used that can actually be washed and reused over and over again. It's filled with polyfill and it's comfortable against the skin for anybody who can wear it, and it comes in all different sizes and shapes and colors.
A woman could come into the library, pick up a kit that had the needles, the yarn, the instructions. You can either knit them or crochet them. And then when she returned them, we gave her a t-shirt as a thank you. Then we box up the knitted knockers according to size, and we give them out free.
The padding parties that we have today, these volunteers are helping us with one of the most important steps of getting a knitted knocker into the hands of those who need them. Doesn't require any special slips or bras to wear these as well, and they're adjustable, so someone can actually take out fill or add fill to it and use this for everyday use. It's a great option for people to have. We have over 450 pair of knockers, and literally every hour we're getting dozens more of these completed knockers. This has absolutely gone beyond our borders here in our community. We have people from Maine right now who are knitting knitted knockers because they have a parent here and happen to hear about it.
It's a part of being able to be self-confident. Unfortunately, we tend to look at people and judge people on how they look. Do they have a certain color hair? How high are they? Are they thin? Are they fat? Whatever. And it's just part of making you feel confident to go out in the world and do whatever you do.
So to help make a difference or to join as a volunteer, you can visit Knitted Knockers online. Coming up after the break, a store where you don't have to spend a dime.
The Solid Rock Free Store is it's a store where you get stuff for free, basically. Everything we have here is donated. There's clothing, household goods, games, bedding, all kinds of things come through here. I lived in South Dakota, and there was a community store there. It was run on donations, basically. If you got something, donate. If you didn't have any money, don't donate, take it for free. And so that was kind of the impetus for it. We came here, we found Fairport didn't have anything like that.
We've got so many items that are free to the public. We're here to help our community, and that could go beyond our little beach town of Fairport Harbor also. We've had people come from other communities as well because they've heard about it. Lots of nice items here. We have shoes, we have clothing for the whole family. We have dishes, we have small household appliances, toys, games, bedding, curtains, so many things you can use in your household. And for those who are less fortunate or who just hit, a hard time in their life, they can come here and happily take things without having to feel the burden of the cost of replacing things. When they come in the door, they sign in. That is just simply so we know who they are, get to know them by name, and also what they are taking, so we know what the need is. Then the people that are donating to us all the time, we let them know, hey, this is what we need. We put it out on social media, on Facebook, that we need certain items. And everything that we have here is meant to be in good condition. Being able to, get rid of your stuff and, pass it on to somebody who's in need, That's the one aspect of it. No one here is judged. You know, we don't care what your financial situation is, and nobody has to be in dire straits to shop here. A lot of people are more thankful than they are ashamed. We have a family in the community who actually, unfortunately, had a house fire and lost everything. So to have this venue for them to come to and not be burdened with having to replace all those items in their house that they lost was a godsend to them. They were so thankful, so happy, and you know, we let them know we were here to help. If there was anything special that they needed, you know, we would see if anyone had it, or you know, if it did come in, we could, you know, contact them and let them know. It's just so heartwarming, getting to talk to those people, getting to learn who they are and what their needs are.
The personal stories, the things that happen here, when we interact with them, we talk with them and pray for them. It's really important for a lot of people, because the next time when you say, hey, you know, how's mom doing? And we prayed for her last time, when you remember that stuff about people. Those are the stories I remember the most. Makes me feel really good. Makes me feel like we're doing something beneficial to other people.
The Solid Rock Free Store is located on Eagle Street in Fairport Harbor. Helping the homeless through a bar of soap. You can shop for your favorite scents at the Natural Soap Lab.
The Natural Soap Lab is a fundraising soap shop for Never Give Up, Never Quit. We specialize in medicinal soaps and unique motivational designs. I needed a practical way to keep giving random acts of kindness, and soap is not a perishable, so we could use soap, we could keep it on us for weeks and months at a time, and when we're out in the community, I don't have to worry about it spoiling. So soap came to me that way. I had been praying about a way to keep spreading hope with a practical product, and just so happened I'm able to make it now. So we also do give these soaps away, but our primary fundraiser is the soaps. To make soap, you need two compounds, an oil, and then you need sodium hydroxide. You take the oil and that sodium, you mix it, it makes soap. And then it's just a matter of what you want to add to that recipe, whether it's turmeric, charcoal, an essential oil, and of course colors, which we use mica. Mica comes out of the ground, it's a natural colorant. Our primary and most favorite soaps are the medicinal soaps, which are activated charcoal, turmeric, rose, kale, and clay. And then we have our unique design collection, which are one-of-a-kind designs. You will not find your soap bar anywhere else. We specialize in one-of-a-kind designs. One of our top-selling collections is our sensitive skin collection, which is formulated for sensitive skin, acne, eczema, psoriasis, itchy skin. So we specialize primarily in medicinal soaps. So the oil of gladness is crafted with frankincense and myrrh. It is actual prayer oil that we have put into our product. If you have different inflammatory problems with your skin, we have handmade, all natural vegan salves that you would put on your skin to help you with inflammation, acne, discoloration of the skin. We have everything that you could use from the time you get in the shower and out and ready to get out the door. We got it here. We want our customers, when they pick up these soap bars, to be inspired every morning. That's why we stamp a lot of the soaps with Never Give Up. It's an affirmation every morning. When you go to your soap caddy, you will be inspired, not only by the design and the scent, but that stamp, Never Give Up, Never Quit. It's no better way to say it than that. Our primary target with our charitable mission is to help people who are depressed. We meet all types of people who are just going through. We visit the homeless, we visit shelters, food banks, we go into low-income neighborhoods where they have never ever used a handmade bar soap before. So it means a lot to them. I still believe this is part of my divine calling, to spread hope, to motivate people to win. Don't give up. So we're using the crafting of our products to do just that. It feels so good to make a difference in people's lives, and when some of the customers come in, you could see the change of their countenance. We try to make our atmosphere very light and beautiful and cheerful so that when they walk out, it's not just about their soaps, it's about hope. They leave out feeling better than they did when they walked in.
The Natural Soap Lab is located on Som Center Road in Willoughby Hills. So that concludes our Above and Beyond show. We loved bringing light to those in our community who are doing good. And if you want to get involved with any of these wonderful missions, we do have a list of the places that we featured on our website today. So make sure you go and check that out. I'm Natalie Herbeck, and we'll see you on the next New Day Cleveland.